He originally called me on the monies for him on that.
Okay.
I was.
In such a fun area. Boston.
All right.
Happy to give my 2 cents.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. It is May 1st, 2025, and this is a Legislative Rules and Governmental Operations Committee. First item on the agenda will be my county clerk, and I see Clerk Black present. But first things, let's approve the minutes of the prior committee meeting, which was March 28th, 2025. Anybody want to put that Supervisor Conover and Supervisor Wild for a second? Any discussion? No discussion. I'll put it to a vote. Those in favor of the minutes as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Privilege of the floor and public comments. Anybody, non-committee members wish to say anything to this committee at this time? Seeing none, let's move on to the action item for the county clerk, DMV. Request to create an additional motor vehicle license registration clerk, temporary. Rationale to better serve the public and mitigate potential delays in MV license registration services due to consistently high demand and seasonal surges. We propose utilizing existing budgetary resources to fund 2 temporary clerk positions. This proactive measure will directly address current business levels and ensure a more positive and efficient experience for our customers. County Clerk Black, do you wish to add anything to that?
Elaborate. Yes, we, as you remember, last committee and last board meeting, we moved $10,000 from regular salaries over to part-time salaries. We have 1 per diem position currently. What I'm requesting is that to be able to have 2 positions with the existing funds so that I can meet those seasonal demands.
Many questions? Yeah, Supervisor
I
Wild?
need a motion first to bring it to the floor.
Yes, motion
Do that.
made by Supervisor Wild, seconded by Supervisor Driscoll.
I
Okay,
have a question.
go ahead.
Carrie, I know that training is significantly long for some of these people. Are you grabbing people that are experienced with this?
That's the hope. I actually have a candidate in mind right now. But she's worked for the county she's retired now, but she had worked for the county for many years and was in the DMV prior to this. If I cannot, this position will be filled by greeting the customers, returning phone calls, and leading people to the right forms. Just kind of taking care of the easy nuances that are of the DMV.
So if I may,
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, how much of this surge is related to Real ID?
I would say about 75%. But we are gearing up to summer season, which is always busy as well. Between May and September.
Any thoughts about expanding hours?
We're currently expanding hours Tuesdays till 6 p.m. We did that because Washington and Saratoga County are Wednesday and Thursday late nights. So we figured that give people the option of 3 different places if they can't get to the DMV during work hours. I had thought about extending into the weekend hours, but my staff would be so burnt out. They're already pushing it. They're already working overtime and comp time. So it just wouldn't be possible for my staff.
Other questions? Yes.
Just
Supervisor
that
Conover?
as our population increases with the seasonal residents going into the summer, I mean, that demand could get significant. I mean, you have the resident demand, right? But then you have now especially starting now, you got people moving into their second home, seasonal homes, and they say, hey, I need to get my license done.
Yeah, a lot of downstaters, especially in the city, can't get appointments for months on end. So they'll probably wait till they get up here
Right.
to get their real IDs.
Supervisor Thomas, did you have a question?
No, just a comment, speaking from experience, I'm all for it.
All right,
Mr. Chairman, one more if you don't mind.
Supervisor Wild, please proceed.
Carrie, I'm assuming we have some fees that we charge for these and certain goes into your budget.
Yes,
Is it gonna cover this $10,000 from the fees that we get?
the increase, yeah, I haven't analyzed that. I'd have to get back to you on that. But if we're getting residents from outside our county, we're getting the 10.7% and the city is not.
Any additional questions? Let's put it to a vote. All those in favor of moving this forward, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays, abstentions? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you both.
Very much.
Next. Is- All right, the next item, legislative item, is an action item. Request to authorize a resolution limiting flag flying to American flags and POWMI flag. I don't know why the New York State flag's not included in this, on county-owned flagpoles. All right, well, before I send it to the committee, there is a privilege of the floor segment. Anybody non-committee wishing to speak to this? Yes. Supervisor Turner.
Hi, thank you. I got in a conversation here and missed my cue. So I am speaking on behalf of Lower Adirondack Pride. Cam Cardinelli could not be here today. And it is about the resolution in your packet or the action to designate our flagpoles here just to fly the New York State and the PLW flag. And I want to say that we do all agree with that the flagpole that has the American flag flying on it should not have any other flag, or except for, of course, the PLW-MIA, excuse me. But there's no reason why we couldn't designate a flagpole to fly flags for other groups, such as June Pride Month. We have every month in our packets for our board meetings, we have proclamations. We have last month, Mental Health Awareness Month, Donate Life Month, Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So, you know, a lot of those public groups probably have some sort of a flag that could be displayed. So it doesn't have to be limited to just flying the pride flag in June. The city of Glens Falls put forth legislation to be able to fly the pride flag in the month of June. They designated a specific flagpole to be able to do that. And I would read all this to you, but it's citing United States codes and New York State codes that I did not take the time today, this morning, to look up. But I can share that with Larry if he would like. Last August in 2024, Lower Adirondack Pride did write a letter to the supervisors requesting that we consider flying the pride flag in the month of June. It's a very pivotal event, especially for Warren County, to be able to say, yes, we support our LGBTQ plus community. A lot of the tourism that we receive here are members of that community. And we would be making a fabulous statement to them saying that, yes, we support you. You know, a lot of tourism dollars come in from that. So, you know, I truly believe we need to look at supporting diversity in our county. We need to evolve into a better people and support a designated flagpole to be able to fly the pride flag for the month of June and perhaps any other flag throughout the year. You know, you have Black History Month, you have Women's History Month. There's every month there's something.
We'll come back to.
Yeah,
committee.
thank you.
Did you have a question for Supervisor Turner, Supervisor Driscoll?
Comment only when she's complete.
Okay.
I can, go ahead, I can do that. Let me say one more thing. So, our attorney did send out a communication to us on August 1st. And it says, there's no prohibition
I would
under
ask-
federal or state law from flying flags.
Just because that's an attorney-client communication,
Oh, I'm sorry,
I would ask that.
got it. Sorry.
referenced.
I wasn't even gonna read that, and then it just kind of struck me, and, so anyways, I still believe that, let me also say that Albany County flies the pride flag. Westchester County flies the pride flag. New York State Capitol Building flies the pride flag. I mean, we are not doing something different than other counties. We would not be doing something different than other counties are already doing. And I think that's about all I have to say right now.
Any questions
Questions?
from the committee for Supervisor Turner? Yes, Supervisor Driscoll.
Thank you, Chairman, and fully support the comments of the supervisor. And I came prepared to also recognize all of the causes that we recognize each month in the proclamations. I think that, I don't know if other counties do them as much, but we always have anywhere from 4 to 8 resolutions, all for worthy causes, to create awareness and information about those causes. The pride flag and referencing exclusive rights to the month of June is certainly warranted, but for a group that is supposed to be promoting being inclusive, it kind of suggests that you have the right to that month and another cause or organization that may be celebrating their awareness on the same month may not have that same opportunity to display their flag. I know in the 8 years that I served on a city council, and you wanted to put a banner up across Glen Street. If there was an event this coming weekend, if you wanted to have that same banner up displayed next year, you better be down to City Hall when they open up Monday morning at 8:30, because it was only a 1-year time period. You couldn't, say we want that for the next 5 years. So Bob Curtis was pretty much waiting on that cause to be down there at 9 o'clock or 8:30 when they opened up. That's my only concern. I mean, there's so many, as you articulated, there's so many good causes that we want to recognize, we want to support, we want to create an opportunity for them to educate and inform the public about what Warren County stands for. Who makes that choice as far as what's more worthy for that particular month or week? I don't have the answer to it, but I suggest that it's something that I think that we, again, I'm not sure how to proceed with it, given that, that right. So I don't know.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but I don't understand why we couldn't, if you had a flagpole, you had the pride flag flying. And it's also, something else, Awareness Month for the month of June. Why couldn't there be 2? Just like we have the American flag and we have the the POW MIA flag flying together. You can have the New York State flag and another designated flag flying together. And I think what I'm asking here today is, let's just not jump into saying no, because then we are also setting a precedent for our other municipalities to, not want to show their support. So there definitely needs to be a discussion.
All right, any other questions for
Just
Supervisor?
one more follow-up, please.
Yeah, is it a committee question or is it?
It's
All right,
for
go ahead.
supervisor. I was also on the way up thinking about differences of opinions and on a given month, if Planned Parenthood wanted to display a flag and a Rights to Life organization wanted to display a flag during that same month, how that would work. And again, I'm not trying to, I'm just throwing that out there as a kind of a discussion item. It's a concern. We just recognized earlier this week the 50th anniversary of us pulling out of
Yes.
Vietnam. What if a veterans support organization back in the day wanted to display their flag, and an anti-war organization wanted to display that flag? How would that work? What kind of liability or message would it be saying about the council?
Well, am I wrong, or correct me if I am, but isn't the POW MIA flag Vietnam?
Yeah, I was just using that as an example. I mean,
Okay,
my point is two diverse
Yeah.
organizations, both entitled to
Mhm.
display their flags, but
So
how would
that
work?
would be a discussion that needs to take place with the with this committee, with the county administrator, how can we go about perhaps doing this and supporting some of these other groups?
All right, well, thank you Supervisor Turner, and I think that the suggestion of separate flagpole for other causes might be something worthy of consideration. Anything else from any other thoughts coming from the floor? Seeing none, let's go to the committee. Committee members, thoughts on this matter. Supervisor Wild.
Mr. Chairman, both other supervisors that spoke have good points. And I think it's going to take some time for us to consider whether or not this is viable and what the consequences are. So I'd like to offer a tabling of this and allow some time for us to research a little bit further.
Supervisor Thomas.
Yeah, I have my opinion. I respect the comments of both of the supervisors, Mr. Driscoll and Ms. Turner. But I think you're heading down a slippery slope, because it's all fine when it's somebody that you agree with. Well, what are you gonna do when the neo-Nazis come and they want to put their flag up? Or the Gadsden flag,
Well,
or Hamas, or the Stars and Bars, the Confederate flag? What's gonna be your answer then? Because First Amendment is First Amendment.
yeah,
And I
but
think
New York
you're getting-
state law allows you to prohibit, if you adopt a policy doing so, hate speech. Anything that's related to hate speech would be prohibited if you
Oh,
adopt a
see.
policy saying so, and you are allowed.
Now
to.
you're making judgments too. I mean,
Well, I mean, some are pretty obvious, as you just.
I think you're headed down a slippery slope.
Okay, thank you. Other thoughts from other committee members? Yes.
Just, what's in front of us is to, I think, have something documented as to what our policy is. Doesn't mean it can't be changed. I assume that it's because maybe there isn't anything specifically recites what our requirements, what our policy is relative to the flagpoles.
Yeah,
And so maybe we need that initially to say, you know, our practice is the American flag. I don't see New York State flag on here, but I assume perhaps the New York State flag should be recited in the MIA. And I assume we're talking about the municipal center, because you can find flagpoles at parks, different places, on municipal properties. Perhaps so. I can't recall whether we have one for our public works properties but you know, and for example, when you go to have staff, you don't necessarily lower all the flags, you lower the flag at your municipal center, I think is where that's commonly done. So, and then they have, because of the kind of program we already have, I mean, you actually have to have advisory services advising you when you're supposed to lower it to have staff for what period of time, et cetera, et cetera. And somebody has to be responsible for all of that, right? Otherwise, somebody gets, you know, their tail in a bunch. So I don't know, perhaps, you know, we don't have anything in writing right now, which is another type of problem, right? Is how do we, other than administratively say no? I assume that's why that's in front of us. I don't know why this is in front of us, I guess is what I'm saying.
all right, looked like you were anxious to say
Thank you,
something.
Mr. No,
I'm just going by body language.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've looked at this for about 6 months now, and looked at the statutes in New York, and I've queried what other counties do. The bottom line, I think and if I've heard the comment about Glens Falls, what the city of Glens Falls did was it said we would not fly the pride flag in this example at the county or at the town hall, town center, on municipal property. They did say they agreed to use a flagpole that exists in Crandall Park, and they could use it there, which is not officially municipal property, but doesn't represent the municipal government. And our decision had been, after a lot of research, that we don't have another flagpole that exists not in front of one of our municipal buildings on municipal property. And so that's why this resolution has come forward.
Okay. Supervisor Mayday, it looks like you want to say
Yeah,
something.
no, I'm just, my comment was, where do you draw the line? Something along with Supervisor Thomas's comment. And when you have religious organizations or whether it be Planned Parenthood, either side of that, it does raise concerns as far as I'm not sure how you monitor that. So,
Yeah, well, don't look at me for an answer.
no, I'm not.
All right, well, there is a motion to table this for further thought. Is there a second? Seeing no second, any other motions? Seeing no other motions? What happened? Let's save it for next month and discuss further I think that's what Supervisor Wiles suggesting. I don't see anything else coming up. Supervisor Driscoll?
Well, yeah, I'm not against that idea, but I think that, and I understand what Mr. Taplin is saying, but it seems like we're kicking the can down the road because they're looking for a decision for the month of June 2025. And
So I'll withdraw my motion.
yeah, I mean, we're meeting earlier this month on the Tuesday, the 13th.
Correct.
Yeah, Tuesday, the 13th. We have to make a lot of difficult decisions.
Well, Cam,
Popular decisions. Can't we bring it to the full board at that meeting? Is there enough time to do that?
well, if there's a motion to move.
Yeah, if
Right.
because
Yes, if this committee makes a motion to move whatever, it'll go to the May 13th board meeting.
but I got an email from Cam Cardinal. And dear members of the Warren County Board of Supervisors, on behalf of Lower Adirondack Pride, I'm writing to formally respond to the miscellaneous action item listed for consideration at the May 1st, 2025 meeting of the Legislative Rules and Governmental Operations Committee, specifically concerning the proposed resolution to limit the display of flags on county-owned flagpoles to only the American flag and the POWMIA flag. We request that any action on this be postponed. So there is one of the leaders of the Adirondack Pine Group asking for us to postpone discussion for further thought. And I think that's what Supervisor Wild was saying, but he never got a second.
And I withdrew it.
But
I'm-
And you went through it.
by doing that, where's the discussion going to take place other than it would make sense if we brought it to the whole board to discuss it. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out otherwise, you know, how do we get our thoughts back?
All right, is that a motion to bring it to the full board for discussion?
Now you put me on the spot.
All
Yeah, I am making a motion.
right, okay. Is there a second to that motion to move this forward to the Board of Supervisors meeting for further discussion?
Just. We discuss that motion.
Yes,
Discussion.
let's discuss the motion then.
Yeah, I mean. I think maybe there are two questions here that we shouldn't necessarily mix into one. I think the one question is, are we prepared to say that the municipal center flags as they presently exist, that the flags on them are limited to the United States flag, the New York State flag, and the MIA flag, period, on the discussion. That doesn't mean that some other possibility somewhere else for some other community organizations wouldn't be brought forward. What we're saying is, as it relates to the municipal center flag, town hall flag, whatever, that it's, this is. And I guess I'm asking a bit of a question. Isn't this real? Is this put it on the municipal center flag? Yes or no? No other options are possible. No other thinking is possible, or is this the municipal center flag? I guess that's the question.
I'm thinking if we could offer package, you know, the municipal flag should be dedicated to the US flag, POWMI flag, and the New York State flags. I mean, those are primary. But could we provide a spot for those that want to vocalize their causes, such as our proclamations do? Possibly. I mean, as was brought out at this meeting, the city doesn't do this on their municipal flagpoles, but they have an additional flagpole, as suggested by Supervisor Turner, that would be dedicated to other causes. The concern among some, if you don't mind me summarizing, is who decides what's a legitimate cause and what might be hate speech and what might be too religious and so forth.
Tangled up.
I don't know. I mean, that bears further discussion.
I mean, if I might, I mean, the other question, if you're willing to contemplate that, become, well, what are the rules to the road? Who administers the rules to the road? Who do we dislike enough to want to assign that responsibility to?
Right.
To manage that situation. And what happens when things become, that was pointed out, that things become contentious for whatever reason. But if the question before the committee is, should the municipal center flags, as they presently exist, should they be limited to flags that were identified? I mean, my feeling is yes, they should be limited to those flags, and that's And there should be a definite statement.
Is that a second to Supervisor Mayday's motion?
If that was that your motion,
That's my intent, yes,
and then this would go on to the board,
yes.
right? I mean, I don't know how to, avoid the, something like this not becoming, contentious. It's been contentious, these types of issues, not just this one, but others are contentious all over. It seems everywhere these days. But the
Yeah.
question is, I think the question before us deals with the municipal center flags.
I agree.
I think that we need to make a definite statement on that. And as far as what might be considered by later on, well, I don't know. I'll wait until see what's put in front of me at that time.
Yeah.
But it's,
Okay, Amanda pointed out to me that this would be on all county-owned flagpoles. That leaves no room for the ideas that have been brought up so far, but Supervisor Thomas is next.
I would suggest that we inject the apostrophe S after county and make it counties. And then inject the word currently
Oh,
before owned. And that leaves the debate open for another day.
Supervisor Mayday, are you okay with that?
Yes.
Supervisor Conover, are you okay with that
am.
amendment? Is that amendment understood? Okay, any further discussion, Supervisor?
Just very quickly, and I agree with those amendments, comments, as another option, I don't know if it's viable, I have an American flag displayed on my home, a lot of my neighbors do too, I mean, do we have, I don't know how the Pride people feel about it or any other group, but I mean, we don't have to necessarily be talking about an expensive flagpole. I picked up a flag kit at the store for $20 and, screwed it into the deck and there it is. I don't know if that's an option, going forward or not.
Well, I think we all think that we could look at other options. But outlining a policy to direct us to what we would allow is what we need to work on.
Right, yeah.
Right.
But currently before this board, and it's been, a motion's been made in a second, is that this committee is saying that currently owned flagpoles will be dedicated to the American flag, POW, MIA, and I think I heard New York State several times.
Yes.
All right, so adding the New York State flag as an amendment is acceptable. And it's made acceptable to the person that made the motion and the supervisor that seconded it. Are we ready to put this to a vote?
just
Right.
as I'm sitting here, you have two flags behind you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what legislative act they track their way back to, but I'm saying that this gets very complicated. I do. think.
Yeah, well, we could work on a policy. I mean, I support Pride. I think a lot of you support Pride. It's just that going beyond Pride, as brought up by some of the supervisors, we need to adopt some kind of policy. But for now, the motion is that the flags that we currently allow on the currently owned county flagpoles will be the US flag, POW, MIA, and the New York State flag.
Aye.
Okay, can we put it to a vote? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays, abstentions, motion passed. Anything else from the floor? Seeing nothing from the floor, how about a motion to
Motion.
adjourn? Motion made by Supervisor Wild, seconded by Supervisor Mayday. All those in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
John.
You got it.
Huge.